why do kilts cost so much? And he's heard a lot too. I hear it's because they're hand woven, but some research shows the material is woven by machines just like any other cloth. Next, I was told because they are hand sewn, but again, after some research, it seems kilts are sewn by sewing machines by over 100 companies. He counted them all.
Over 100.
So besides being considered the national dress of Scotland, can you please explain why the average cost is $500 or more?
It's me. I'm still paying off a Lamborghini. Sorry.
Yeah. It's the cost of the cloth, cost of labor, where it's made, the raw materials. It's all of the things. It is.
Because it's not a pair of Dockers.
Yes.
But I mean, there's a lot of steps to it. So
exactly, it's not as cheap as people would want, and it's very much a niche market. If kilt cloth, just the cloth itself, let's say you need 4 yards of cloth for an 8-yard kilt. Even at wholesale, it's still not cheap. Like if 4 yards of kilt cloth at retail is over $400 for an 8-yard kilt, and that's just the cost of the cloth. You have to worry about the raw materials of wool. You have to worry about the spinning of said wool. You have to worry about the dyeing of said wool into different colors. Then the weaving, by very, very skilled niche artisans. Then you have to worry about the finishing of said wool. Then you have to worry about shipping of that wool or that, the actual finished tartan cloth to the kilt maker. If that kilt maker happens to be in the US, now you have to worry about tariffs. That's a whole thing all on itself.
It's a whole other topic.
Indeed. Now, outside of that, you have to worry about the labor involved in the making of the kilt. How long does it take to make a kilt? 6 hours? For maybe like a 5-yard kilt. Does it take 10 hours, 15 hours? For a hand-sewn kilt, it could take 20 or 25 hours to make. Like Barb Tewksbury takes an ungodly amount of time to make a kilt. It's beautiful, but it takes a very, very long time. Even sewing one of our premier 8-yard kilts on a machine still takes more than a full day. So what is labor worth? What is your time as an individual worth? If you make, $50,000 a year, what does that equate out to per hour times 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is? Add that up and add it to the cost of the cloth. And that's before you're even worrying about profit. That is why things cost so much money. How do you make it cheaper? You can hire cheaper labor. You can use cheaper fabric. Or you can cut corners. Or all three. The holy trinity, the unholy trinity of imported kilts. So if you use acrylic fabric, shudder a little bit, it's a fraction of the price for the yarn. You don't have to have it finished necessarily. The weaving in a third world country where the labor is much less expensive. Great. You get away with a much, much cheaper cost on the cloth of the kilt. If it takes you an hour or let's say 2 hours to make the kilt, and the cost of the labor, again, in an overseas country is, what are they paid? I'm going to make up a number. $3 an hour. It takes 2 hours.
And they're doing it piecework a lot of time. You're not talking about custom work.
Yep.
Doing talking about an assembly line production.
So let's say it's, $5, $6 in the actual cost of the cloth. It's another, $6 for a couple hours labor. I don't know if these numbers are accurate or not. And then you have to ship it to the US or wherever you are. You have to pay for the customs still. But if it's $20 landed, now I can turn that around and sell it for $40, $50. Great. Now I have a super duper cheap kilt. So it really depends on, it's the size of the market, it's the labor involved, it's the materials involved, it's where the things are made, and the standard of living for whatever country the thing is made in. I'm not paying my kilt makers $5 an hour. I wish I could. No, I would never pay that, that cheap. It's a skill. They have to learn how to do this thing, and they have bills they have to pay. They have rent they have to pay. They have a car payment. They have a family they have to, contribute towards. So what is that worth in any country? Having a job that you're proud to do and you're paid a living wage to do. So it's all of these things added in. That's the price is what the price is. I understand you say like, oh my God, all these things cost $500. There's a reason. It's not all of the companies, all the U.S. kilt makers getting together going, hey guys, how do we fix the price so that we're all charging above a certain amount so we can all be rich? Ha ha ha! Tap my cigar and adjust my monocle. It's not that. There's not a cabal of kilt makers, trying to take over the Highlandware world. The price is what the price is. There's external pressures on price. There's inflation. There's the value of the U.S. dollar. There's tariffs. Yeah. There's all of these things that screw the companies and force the price to be what the price has to be. But it's not just because we're throwing a dart at the wall and saying, well, that's what the price should be. There's external factors at play. Guys, before we go any further with the question, do me one quick favor. Like and subscribe. As well, go check out the comments. Let us know your opinion down below. Thoughts, additions?
Think about it, won't you? No, and then the industry is under attack from the cheap imports. I mean, a lot of people just have no perception of what the actual cost of making things is. I mean, we live in such a disposable world at this point that we've been trained to think in those terms. If you look at a decent quality piece of clothing that's not Highland dress, I guarantee you that if you get something that's well made, it's not going to be cheap either.
How much is a custom suit?
Exactly. I was going to say, how much is a custom suit? How much is, high-end outerwear for people who are seriously into, doing, outdoor sports, well, I'm not talking Carhartts. I'm talking about, the
ghillie jackets or whatever.
Yeah, and the stuff that the 1%ers are more into than we are, to be frank. But the point is, it is built to last. It's not built on an assembly line. That's the truth of the matter.
And it's built bespoke just for you.
Right. Because you get what you pay for, which is a really glib way of putting it. But, it's like I said in the beginning, it's not a pair of Dockers. It's not a T-shirt.
It's not assembly line.
Yeah, and we've gotten used to things being cheap and affordable because of the factors that you mentioned. Basically, man-made materials, highly industrialized manufacturing process on production lines, and cheap labor in factories where, and this sounds like I'm being whiffy or something, but I'm not lying. We see photos of what some of the factories look like, and they're literally dirt floors. There are people barefoot working on dirt floors, okay? So insert rant about fast fashion here, okay? That's why. The trick is, the trade-off is that if you can put out the money, not every kilt is $600. There are more affordable options, but they still cost money. Even the good ones will still cost you some money. You're getting something you can actually believe in.
And you can feel proud to own and proud to have purchased. You're supporting, whether it's us or somebody else, it doesn't matter. You're supporting an individual or an artisan or a company that you're like, I like those people. That's who I want to give my money to. I know it's going to cost more. I know the quality is going to be better. I know it's going to cost more, but I'd rather save up and spend on that and vote with my dollars than just get the cheapest thing because, that's where I
just want to wear it to the Ren Fair. I just want to wear it to the festival. Now, if you're on a budget, I do sympathize. I get it. Times are tough. I do understand that. But this is a case where it's basically, it's for the good of the culture. It's for the good of the community. It's for the good of your dignity. And you're getting something that is made by somebody who actually gives a damn about it. So you're getting a quality product. And it may cost $500 now, but 30 years from now when you're still wearing the same kilt, that's not such a big deal.
I'm going to draw a...
I'm ornery today, guys.
I know. We're getting
I'm really...
it is
Dark Eric.
It is the argument that people make or have made about the Walmartification of America and or a community can essentially the same argument can be transposed to Highlandware.
Yeah.
If when and I'm picking on Walmart, and if you like Walmart, I'm not meaning to pick on you. I'm just kind of giving what the general
I give you permission.
What the general thought process is Walmart goes into a small town and puts all of the little mom and pop shops out of business. And then Walmart is the only place in town where you can buy the thing. And they end up employing a good amount of people in the town. And then when all the other stores, the grocery stores, the mom and pop shops go out of business, they can't afford to buy anything anymore. And nothing is getting supported. So it kind of hollows out that community. And then Walmart eventually says, well, we're not making enough money in this community. We have to remove or close down that particular store. Now there's nothing. That's on a different scale, in a different way. That's what could happen with Highlandware. If you have an influx of all cheap stuff and the traditional artisans can't make a living and aren't supported in any way, then they end up going out of business. All you're going to be left with is the cheap stuff, and then it just kind of becomes meh fodder, and it just it goes away. Mm-hmm. So I am very, very much for supporting traditional artisans. There's a reason why we get all of our cloth from companies in the UK. All of our sporrans come from Scotland. All of our jackets come from Scotland. All of our kilt hose come from Scotland. We are supporting the culture that we are perpetuating, that we are talking about, because we care about this stuff, and we want our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids' kids to be able to get real, authentic, good quality stuff. So if we don't do it in our time here now, it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm passionate about this stuff.
Grr.
Yeah, Mr. Mack.
The one thing that Eric, you kind of brought it up about, buying it now and you get the longevity of it.
Yeah.
Every time you wear it, think about if you bought it for $500, you wear it 100 times. What is the value you've spent over time?
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing I was going to bring up, it starts at the farm. The price of grain goes up.
Right.
The farmer's going to charge more for the wool, and then that's just a domino effect that just keeps falling. So it starts as simple grain.
Yep.
And it goes up from there.
Yep.